Welcome back everyone. As you can tell by the title, I'm dealing with the kitchen cabinets and the countertop in this video. I'm going to spare you the cutting and milling process for the most part. It's just too boring to watch. I had to buy just one sheet of 1/2 inch plywood for this. The rest is made out of recycled lumber and lumber that I milled myself. I started with the framework without having a detailed plan as usual, but things just fall in place with each step and I made decisions along the way. Well, sometimes I just need to start a project, or otherwise I'm stuck forever in the planning phase, and well, luckily it worked out for the most part in this case. So that wrapped up the framework and a couple of tricky details like the tambour door and that big curved door. And now it's time to get those drawers and the cabinet doors done. And yet again, I use reclaimed material, in this case recycled cedar from an old sauna. Now let me show you briefly how I built those. At this point, the drawers and the cabinet doors were almost done. All they needed were a couple coats of varnish, and huge thanks to Marlene at this point. She's our German workaway guest, and she spent a couple of days coating them, and she did a fantastic job. So thanks again, Marlene. Now, there's one major component left, and that is the kitchen countertop. I used some birch that I harvested a couple of years ago on our own property. And I'm going to spare you the whole milling process, but I planed them down to just 3/4 inch of a thickness, and I was able to glue up a panel from just 3 boards right on our flat kitchen countertop, to the joy of the entire family. They just love when I block the kitchen with giant chunks of wood for days at a time, and they especially enjoy the long clamps sticking out in every direction, almost invisible to the eye, but quite noticeable when they poke you right in between the ribs because you didn't see them and ran into them. Anyways, I had a zinc kicking around that I salvaged from an old trailer, so I cut out an opening for that with the jigsaw, and then I looked at the countertop and I felt like this just looks a little bit boring. So at that point the decision was made to use one of those wood burning tools. I bought this thing a couple years ago and I never really used it. Unfortunately, this tool is so cheaply made that the tips don't really hold in it. They wiggle around, and I tried to pinch a soft wire between the threads, but that didn't really work either. So long story short, it was quite a challenge to use this thing. Well, there's really no way back once you burn the surface. It's not like you can use an eraser, so it was a bit risky. That's why I used a pencil first, just to get the main proportions right. I decided to stay in a nautical theme, and I settled on a sail ship for the picture. And beforehand I googled a couple drawings and pictures online of sail ships just to get into the theme, and well, that's how it went. Well, this was a lot of fun, and I would say this worked out. At least I'm happy with it. It actually just took a couple of hours, to my surprise. I thought I would be busy for days. Now, with this stressful part done, I could move on and install the sink and the faucet, and both of them are not fully hooked up yet, so that's something I'm gonna have to deal with it in the future. I also installed this aluminum edge, which I bought from a scrapyard a couple years ago, and then I finally could install the cabinet doors in the drawers, and for the first time I got the feeling for the look of the completed kitchen. Now, before I show you the final shot, let me thank real quick my friend Drew, who supplied me with all of those old cedar boards. Also a huge thanks to Ian, who allowed me to grab a lot of scrap lumber from his home renovation project. And a big thank you to Lily, our previous workaway guest, who spent hours over hours pulling out hundreds of nails out of all of that reclaimed lumber. And then, of course, huge thanks to you guys for watching. And if you're new here and you like that content and you would like to support this channel, as of right now, the best way to do this is by subscribing, so don't forget that. Now enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you the next time.